A coronial inquest last year looked into the deaths of 6 Aboriginal people on the state's west coast. All were in their 30s and 40s and their deaths were all linked to alcoholism. Community members are worried that nothing is being done to implement the recommendations from that inquest, and they say it's just a matter of time before there's another tragedy. ABC Open producer Emma Pedler has provided 7:30 South Australia with images of violence, alcohol abuse and people who are putting their lives at risk. But before we see this, a warning that some of this vision may be disturbing to some viewers.
Car there, get away! Get going back that way!
This vision is filmed from the car of a local government-funded security patrol on Highway 1 outside of Ceduna. No alcohol can be bought or consumed in the West Coast Aboriginal communities of Yalata and Oak Valley. And while alcohol can be bought in Ceduna, the town is a dry zone. That means people from those communities who want to drink buy alcohol in Ceduna and go just outside the town limits to consume it, often with tragic results.
I want to get myself!
Only yesterday we had road trains stopped in the middle of the road while we actually removed one of the guys from the middle of the highway. So very close. I've also seen last week a road train swerve around someone who was walking across the road.
Greg Limbert has run the Highway 1 Roadhouse for 16 years. In the last 6 to 8 months, he says the number of people drinking near the Roadhouse has escalated.
I've had meetings with a number of community members and also department people to say, look, let's try and coordinate this as a coordinated approach rather than as individuals, and then we can go and perhaps lobby harder to state, federal government and hopefully get some support and some recognition of the real issues that we see here.
Those issues are well known and well documented, and well before these pictures were shot in January. A coroner's inquest was held into 6 deaths in this area last July. The findings were handed down in November. It found that while a local town camp and sobering up centre provide a much needed service, the centre isn't open long enough and more beds are needed. The coroner reported,
"The opportunities for treatment for alcohol addiction in the far west of South Australia are basically non-existent, despite the fact that it has been known for many years that alcohol is a major contributor to morbidity and mortality in that region in respect of Indigenous people."
And called for an alcohol rehabilitation centre to be established on the West Coast. It also recommended more restrictions on alcohol being sold to transient Aboriginal people in Ceduna, Yalata and Oak Valley. And the local mayor on this front at least says there's been some progress.
That is the one area where there has been some action. There's been cooperation between the police, the council and the Indigenous Coordination Centre, and there has been activity on that front. Unfortunately, there has been almost no activity on any of the other fronts.
Alan Suter says these empty cask bags on the Ceduna golf course are evidence of how bad the situation is. The council has set up a working group to address the recommendations of the coroner's inquest. But Alan Suter is worried funding for other much needed services isn't there.
Well, it makes me feel very ill, in fact. This is a beautiful community and it is just tragic to see what is happening to these people. They are simply drinking themselves to death, dying far too young, sleeping rough. In some cases, people have abandoned houses that they've got in the outlying communities of Yalata and Oak Valley, left their families, children behind in the care of relatives, and they're just here to drink. And it's a one-way ticket to oblivion, I'm afraid.
At least it's only a leaf.
The life expectancy of a male in Ceduna is 45 years of age. Female is about 50. So it's not much higher, right? If you go to the Ceduna Coronial Cemetery and you see the graves of the young people there, sort of thing, it's appalling,
Indigenous elder Mitch Dunnett believes bureaucracy is holding up progress. He wants to send a delegation of Indigenous leaders to Adelaide to find out exactly what is being done to meet the coroner's recommendations. Mitch Dunnett says it won't be long before there is another alcohol-related death in this community.
That could be prevented, right? Alcohol, we can prevent them killing themselves with alcohol. right? Because I'm quite sure there's a lot of money around, but who's controlling it? It's not controlled by the Aboriginal people, it's controlled by all these other different government departments, and they can't make up their mind what program they should be providing.